Hey everyone, what's up? Gleekon here once again, bringing you another episode of Lore of Warcraft, the show where we try to cover everything. On our most recent episode, we finished up Zul'Farrak. We had already done Zul'Farrak as a dungeon, but we did some of the quests such as saving Sharp Beak and getting the Ancient Egg on our Alliance run. In the next couple days, we will do rinse and repeat with Horde. We'll run the dungeon and then do the post quest. So that will be our next two episodes coming up in just a couple days. Today we're going to look at the Warcraft Encyclopedia some more. This is something we've been going back to. It's non-canon lore, so I originally skipped it, but I am slipping these in throughout the week now as we go along. So we're going to look at the Moonguard. This is our last entry we'll be covering that is actually directly tied to the War of the Ancients as it's happening. So stay a while and listen as we look at this little brief entry. Again, the Warcraft Encyclopedia, as I've mentioned before, is defunct. You can find it, more or less, the text of it on Wowpedia. And if you look up the Internet Time Capsule Archive, it's not Internet Archive, it's something else, but look up like Internet Time Capsule. You can find it originally, how it existed back in the day. So, what is the Moonguard? Well, it says it's an obsolete organization. So I guess they don't exist anymore. I kind of feel like you interacted with them in Legion, but maybe I'm wrong. Their last known leader was Latosius. That's cool. I don't know that he gets his own thing, or if we already read it, or if that's coming up in the future. It was established long before the War of the Ancients. The Moonguard were spellcasters who guarded the capital city of Night Elf Society from external threats. That's interesting that they're referred to above all other descriptors as spellcasters. The membership, well, tradition dictated that only Night Elf men be permitted into the Moonguard's ranks. Moreover, sorcerers who sought to join the Moonguard were required to demonstrate considerable talent in wielding arcane magic. After the Great Sundering, the Night Elves dissolved all organizations that made use of such magic, including the Moonguard. Okay, so right now I have a confession. This entire time I've been thinking the Moonguard were the Wardens. I've been picturing Wardens this entire time. Let's see if we can get a good image, which I will share. So, Warcraft Moonguard. Maybe we can find a cool image of the defunct Moonguard, and I'll use that. I don't see a lot. That is cool. It's a rainbow. I love playing on Moonguard. I guess there is a person who is maybe part of the Moonguard, a Moonguard acolyte. And this is someone that designed their character. He has a big beard to be looking like some sort of Moonguard character. But I'm not seeing a lot of actual pictures of things I would consider unabashedly Moonguard. There's another person. That's Moonguard robes that someone's NPC is wearing. And I could always use maybe just like this realm right here. That might be what we have to settle for. If you look at this, this is, yeah, the server Moonguard. So a little different. So, yeah, there's really, that's how small. And in Moonguard Stronghold storyline in Suramar. Okay, I do remember doing this. All right, so in Suramar, I remember here, there is this little small place, and that's the last remaining base, and you do have to fight your way in there. So we will cover that way in the future when we play Legion. So there is Moonguard. My connection for Moonguard to Legion is valid, just for completely the wrong reasons. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. History and organization. In ancient times, the rise of magic in Night Elf society brought with it a variety of new abilities and concerns. Given the power of the well, it seemed obvious that combat skill alone would not suffice to counteract magical attack. Only a few scattered soldiers were found to possess magical skills, and such abilities were minor at best. Thus, a number of magic-based fighting organizations sprang up, each of them meant to defend a critical population center. Spellcasters of sufficient strength and ambition sought out the capital city of the Night Elf civilization, hoping to earn favor with some heroic deed. Eventually, this particular group gained the monarchy's official sanction, and they were named the Moonguard. Loyal only to the ruler of the Night Elves, the Moonguard soon regarded other spellcasters with disdain and expected them by default to possess inferior magical ability. Their arrogance received a sharp blow during the War of the Ancients. When the Well of Eternity imploded, the Moonguard lost the greatest part of its power. In addition, the war and its catastrophic consequences led to widespread condemnation of arcane magic. So not only did they lose all their forces, but now the font of their power is considered toxic. Thus, the organization was disbanded, and its surviving members renounced the sorcery that had once been their primary purpose, except for those that linger in Suramar. Some of them turned instead to Druidism, seeking to redress the imbalance their magic had caused. These former sorcerers consequently became some of the first students of Malfurion Stormrage. As a result, the Druidic arts were long viewed as a man's purview. So, male, arcane, eventually Druids, some of them, mostly defunct. That's that in a nutshell. And that is this episode in the pipe, 5x5.